The Steam Machine is launching with a very unfortunate price that is not making a lot of people, including myself, very happy. Welcome to Sackboy 2, where I get to talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about outside of Sonic the Hedgehog. Today, like I mentioned, we're talking about the Steam Machine. Some brand new details have been revealed for today that I'm gonna go over what it is generally, and then we'll see if I can, like, really get mad at this or not. Spoilers. Probably not. So first of all, what is the Steam Machine? Well, it is essentially been described as an entry-level gaming PC. You can play games, you know, have streaming services, different apps, you could go on the internet as well. So like I said, this is essentially a PC, and that's what it's being positioned as. It's not necessarily like a fourth competitor in the console market. Although I gotta say, with how this thing looks and how it's being advertised, it certainly does feel like it is trying to compete with like the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and even to a certain extent, the Nintendo Switch 2. The specs are essentially what you get with a console, but you also get the additions of it being a PC as well. It has a bunch of customization to you, like do the front of the box. I know a bunch of companies have already been like selling skins for the Steam Deck. Like I think there's a company that's launched like an Overwatch one. But yeah, by the way, you can also connect a keyboard and mouse. So like I said, yeah, this is pretty much just a PC. There's a reason why I'm putting all of this here, so I can get to the main point of discussion, which is the price of it all. There are 5 things we need to take a look at. First, the price of the controllers. Those things will cost you pretty much $100. Without a controller and 512 gigabytes is $1,049. 2 terabytes without a controller is $1,349. With a controller, 512 gigabytes is $1,128. With a controller, 2 terabytes is $1,428. That is insane. If you're looking at it from the perspective of a console, I know a lot of people have been kind of like confusing this, saying it's pretty much just a console. Like I said earlier, this is a PC, but if you're looking at it specifically just to play games, that is pretty steep. What's good about this and the Steam Deck as well is the fact that, you know, your games carry over from your Steam library. But still, like I said, if you're just looking to play games on this thing, like you would a console, $1,000 is really expensive. I know things are getting expensive. Steam's own Steam Deck is, instead of being $400, it's now $700, which is insane for a handheld console. You know, even with these price hikes, my GOAT PlayStation can't avoid that almost $1,000 price. Of course, you can blame this all on the handy-dandy RAM prices. I know that's a big point of contention, which I'm not really going to get into today. I'm not too interested in the topic. But yes, it is in fact making things more expensive, and yes, I would rather these go to consoles to make them less expensive than AI data centers. Now, if you're looking at it from the point of it being an actual PC, or at least a lower-end PC, this is great. Even just building a PC by yourself is insanely expensive. You're looking at upwards of thousands of dollars to get just even a few sticks of RAM nowadays. That's not even including the cables, that's not including the fans, that's not including any body that you want for it. So many other things that go alongside building a PC nowadays that can get you even further up that ladder of costing almost like $3,000 to $5,000 even for a low-end one. So for this to be about just $1,000 base price, not too bad for a PC, considering it can pretty much do everything that a normal computer can. It's when you start going upwards just a bit further with the storage and the controller inclusion that I'm like, oh my goodness. Get upwards of almost $1,500 just with a terabyte and a half of extra storage alongside a controller. That's insane. Almost a $500 difference just for some space and a controller included. Me being on a console my entire life, I'm just prepped to think that, oh, a Steam Machine, you know, like the video game platform, that just seems way too expensive just to play some video games. But I'm sure on the other side of this argument, you gotta say, for was essentially an entry-level PC, that's not too bad. And that's the argument no one looks at, too. You're always on the, oh my goodness, Gabe Newell is giving me so much money, or 2, I will never support Gabe Newell again because these things are just way too expensive. Like, this is the middle ground. You can accept both sides and be like, okay, maybe not for me, but I can't say that's necessarily a bad price for what they're offering. The thing I can't wrap my head around is, who is this for? It's either 1, it's not good enough to be a gaming PC and doesn't satisfy the PC gamers' needs, and 2, like I said, it's too expensive. It's just too expensive for a console. Like, I would never pay this much for a console. A PC, sure. A console, no. I just don't see who this is going to appeal to most and who this is going to appeal to the least, because what I see are 2 very big portions of people that are like, this isn't worth it, this isn't good enough. And then there's like a very small percentage in the middle is like, okay, maybe I'll pick this up. Let me make an official Sackboy prediction. What you're gonna see when the Steam Machine drops is not a failure. what you're gonna see is it's gonna have an identity crisis. It has no clue who it's trying to market itself to. And like, I keep bringing up this dichotomy, but you got like the hardcore PC gamers who are like, they want something better, and you got the ride or die console enjoyers like myself who are like, that's way too expensive just to play a few video games. And maybe I'm just not tapped in enough to like really know the people who are gonna buy this. Maybe it's a way bigger margin than I thought, but the two sides that I'm seeing here are just vocal majorities. So maybe there's a bigger audience in the middle, but I know a lot of people just walking in the store and being like, oh, man, everything's so expensive nowadays. So when they see what is essentially marketed as a console being over $1,000 and almost $15,000 for the highest end, they're not gonna pick this up either. So once you break all that down, you reach the point of not knowing who's gonna buy this and who's gonna enjoy it the most. I'm sure when people buy it, they're gonna enjoy it. Of course, you're always gonna get those Steam glazers who are definitely gonna buy this console no matter what. But again, that's a small little group of who's actually gonna be the general audience, which I'm sure nobody's gonna know. I really thought I was gonna get more worked up about this, especially because I really do not like that price. But at this point, I don't think it's worth it to get so angry about things I'm not even going to like interact with anyway. I was excited for this. I will say that. I was really excited for the Steam Machine, but like that price just turned me off. Don't care anymore. I probably have better things to spend my money on realistically, and I'm perfectly content with my PS5 for right now. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to talk about today. What are your guys' thoughts on the Steam Machine, its price, what it has to offer, all of that stuff? Are you excited for any customization features? Because that's one of the biggest things that I'm excited for too. So let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that drops, of course. Bye-bye.